Hello everybody, this is Jen from Scrapping Posh, and today we are going to do a tutorial, and I'm going to make a mini album out of a 6x6 paper pad. So I chose this paper pad from Crate Paper called Cute Girl, and it's 36 sheets, single-sided, 6x6 paper pad. And I am going to do the pages in this light blue. I am going to do the cover in this pink vinyl, and I'm going to do a chipboard backing. And let's just dive into it. I am going to make this mini album a 4 by 8 inch page. So we're going to start with a 4 1/4 by 8 1/4 cover. So the way that I cut my chipboard is on this old paper trimmer, which I do not use for paper anymore. I'm going to cut the 8 1/4 first, score it on one side, flip it over, measure the 8 1/4, and cut it again. And do the same at the 4 1/4 mark. And again for the other side, 8 1/4, 8 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay. And then I need an 8 1/4 by 2 inch hinge, or spine rather. So I just have these scraps left over, 8 1/4, 8 1/4, and 2. And this is going to facilitate 8 pages. Alright, I'll put my chipboard scraps away. And I'm done with this old cutter. And now we're going to bind this together with this vinyl. So you want to leave about a 1/4 inch between the front, back, and the spine, and then about 1 inch on each side. So if I lay this out, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 inches. And then this is 8 1/4, and then you want about 1 inch on both sides, so it's going to be 10 1/4. So you want it about 13 inches by 10 1/4. So I'm just going to take my vinyl, and I buy my vinyl from US Cutter Supply because I do other things with it too, not just scrapbook, not just mini album covers. So here's my 13 inch line, and this vinyl's nice because it has a grid on it. I'm going to cut it at the 13 1/4. I think it was 13. Oh, I'm cutting mine at 13 1/4. And then it was 10 1/4. That's where the 1/4 inch came from. So this is a 12 inch piece. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 1 1/2 inches. Right here. 1 1/2 inches off, which is going to be 10 1/4. Okay, and we can save this for something else on some other day. Now I'm just going to double check my measurements before I peel my backing off. And yep, I think that's going to do it. So you slowly peel your backing off so that it doesn't curl up on you. And then I line mine up on the grid here so that I can use my board to line up my pieces. And again, you leave about a 1/4 inch between these two. Okay, and so there's your layout. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some score tape and go along the outside because this isn't as sticky as I'd like it to adhere around the outside. So on all sides. And then what I like to do is lift my book and set it on one side, which kind of gives it a crease. And again on this side. And then I just push towards the center of the book, making sure that those sides are nice and flat. On the side, I just totally flip that over, and the same with this side. Flip it over and press. Okay, now you have a nice book cover with no fuss, and I think this is going to be a fun size to work with. And I'll come back with the hinge and the pages. Okay, so today I'm going to do a little bit different hinge system than I normally do. I normally do the hidden hinge from Kathy Orta Paper Phenomenon. Today we're going to try the Stack the Deck hinge with, I believe it originally came from Following the Paper Trail a long time ago. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want 8 pages and I want 1/4 inch gussets. But first I'm going to reinforce my hinges here by taking a piece of 8.5 by 11, I cut it down to 8, and I changed my background paper from blue to white, so this is white. So this is a 2-inch spine. It has a 1/4 inch on each side, which that's 2.5 then, and then I want another inch on each side. So I'm going to make this 4.5 inches. Okay, so that is going to go right across there, and it's going to reinforce this part of my spine. Okay, so the next one I want to be a 1/4 inch in with 2 1/2-inch gussets, or 2 1/2-inch gussets sitting out with a 1/4-inch gutter on either side. So that is going to measure 1 1/2 in the flat, and then another 1/2 inch on each side. So 1 1/2 plus half plus half is 2 1/2. So I'm going to make my next piece of paper 8 by 2 1/2. And that's my 8 by 2 1/2, and I'm going to score this on a 1/2 inch on either side. Okay, following the same principle, I'm going to take this piece here. This is 1 1/2 inch, and I want it to be a 1/4 inch smaller on each side, which would be 1 inch plus a 1/2 and a 1/2. So that would be 2 inches. So this piece is going to be 8 by 2. And I'm going to score this one at a 1/2 inch on both sides. Okay, now the inside here now is going to be 1 inch. And I want 2 more pages with a 1/4 inch in the middle, so I am going to cut this at 1/4 plus a 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1 1/4. And then I'm going to score this at a 1/2 inch on both sides. Alright, so I miscalculated the middle. I guess I need one for the very outside here. So I'm going to take my 2 inches, my 2-inch spine, get that, 2-inch spine, and add a 1/4 inch to, or no, I'm sorry, a 2-inch spine plus a 1/2 inch plus a 1/2 inch. So I need one that's 3 inches by 8. Okay, and then there's my 3 by 8. I'm going to score that at a 1/2 inch on both sides. Alright, let's see how this looks. I've never done this before. Okay, so this is going to go right on the spine, and then these stack a 1/4 inch apart. Alright, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. Alright, I'm going to use score tape to tape all these down. And this is my 3/8 inch score tape. And I missed. first thing we're going to do, and remember, do each one of these 8 times. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut this 8.5 by 11 piece of paper down to 8.5 by 9. Okay, and then we're going to score this at a 1/2 inch. And then at 4 1/4, because that's what I want my page to be, is 4 1/4. So I flip it around and do 4 1/4. Okay, so we got 1/2, 4 1/4, 4 1/4. Okay, and then turn it on its side. We're going to do another 1/2 inch. And then we're going to cut this flap off. And then I'm going to cut that at an angle, and I'll go ahead and cut this at an angle. Okay. That is going to be our base page. This is going to go up. This one's going to fold in. And I'm going to use some score tape on that. I'm going to go ahead and angle this corner too. And this one we can glue down. Oh, I should crease that first. Alrighty. I did that crooked. Okay, let's line it up there. There we go. Alright. There we go. So there's my base page, and it is a pocket. And then I'm going to take another piece of cardstock, and we're going to cut this at 8 by 4.5. And you can get 2 of these out of a piece. I went ahead and cut the other one. And I'm scoring this one at a 1/2 inch on the long side. Okay, and then we're going to tape this one. Make sure your opening's on the top. And we're going to put it, I want the pocket on the front, so we're going to put it on this side. Okay, and you just line this up here, and it should be about a 1/4 inch short. so that it doesn't run into your spine. Alright, there we go. And then on the front here, I want a pocket, and I'm going to cut the pocket at 5 1/4 by 3. And you can get 6 of those 5 1/4 by 3 out of a piece of paper. And we're just going to score these two at 1/2 inch on both sides. And then we're going to end up gluing it along the bottom, but I want to put, I think, a border punch on here, and I want to put the paper on before I glue that pocket on. Okay, so we need 8 of these, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so now I have all the pages made, and now we're going to work on the cover. Now the cover measures 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, so I'm going to need a total of at least 5 pieces of paper for this. So I'm going to show you how we are going to do this. I am going to take one of these cut apart collage pages, and then I really like this cat paper, so I think we'll take that, and that's going to be the front and part of the back. On the back, let's use something simple. I'm good with this black and triangle pattern. And then on the spine, let's see. How about this wood grain? Okay, so the first thing I do, again, this measures 4 1/4, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut this paper down to 4 1/8 and leave it at 6 inches long. And I'm going to do that to the front and back paper. See how that's going to look. That looks good. Now I have about 2 1/4 inches down here, and what I'm going to do is kind of make a stepping pocket. So I want to make sure that I get my 4 1/4 here. Let's see. Or I'm sorry, 4 1/8. So I'm going to mark that. So this is my 4 1/8, and I have to come up at least, it looks like, two inches. So my 2-inch point on here would be about halfway on this piece of paper. So let's go ahead and I don't want to cut all the way because, well, I may have to. Let me think about this. Actually, I may take I like this and I like these hearts. So I think I'm going to take it from this side and cut like a 3-inch strip out the middle of that. Okay, so cut the branding strip off. Okay, and it actually ended up being 3.5 inches because I wanted to keep that. So, and then I'm going to cut it here at 4 1/8. Okay. So now it looks like I have my favorite elements here, but I'm going to have to make my pocket tuck in from this side. So now I'm going to trim the parts that I don't want. I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm going to save some of this card. Like maybe right there. Go across here. This paper has little lines on it. And then I think here, I'm going to make sure that that's good. It's still tall enough. Okay, I can't go down any further, so that's going to be my step there. Okay, so that's going to be the front cover, and I'm going to ink with spun sugar here. And that's just going to make that stick out a little bit more. And again, on this cute cat paper. Just dropped. There it is. Okay, now make sure I do it the right way. I'm going to adhere this down, and we're going to use score tape again. I'm going to do score tape on 4 sides and then ATG in the middle. The score tape's going to hold it on. The ATG, I think, holds the, makes sure that the center doesn't bubble. So I'm just going to line this up on the front and leave about an 1/8 inch border all the way around. And my pocket went somewhere. this is going to go here. And I think I'll just use the tape. I'll use the 1/4 inch tape on 3 sides. Now when I glue this down, or adhere it down, I'm going to stick some paper under it so it has a little pouch to it. I just got 4 pieces of paper here. I'm just going to set those right on top. While I adhere this on without hitting that paper, so that it has an actual pocket and it's not just flat. And I want this lined up. So now you can actually stick something in there because it has a little bit of depth to it. Alright, so there's my front cover. Again, we're going to stick something in there, and I'm going to pull some ribbon out to match to put along this side here. I already bent my pocket. Okay, the back is going to be similar. I've already cut my black paper. Except for this time, we're just going to go straight across. And let's see here. This is the rest of that, and I'm going to cut this at 4 1/8. And I left my happy there. And I'm going to ink this on the bottom side and the 2 sides. Making sure my happy is face up. We're going to ink this along 3 sides. And let's see. I think we're going to go ahead and use this, and then I'll find an embellishment to put here. And that is the paper strip, or I could use a part of this to go there. Yeah, maybe we should do that. Okay, let's do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my 2 2-inch strips for the spine, and then a part for that. Okay, so I have, let's go ahead and adhere these. There. Try to clean up a little bit here. So let's see what we got. There they are. I think I like that one. The cat. Okay. Just gonna ink the edges again, give everything a cohesive look. And I'm just gonna ATG that right down. Now another thing you could have done if you wanted to put, if you weren't adding a charm and you wanted to do something, you could flip this around and you could put a cut apart right over the seam and you'll barely be able to see it. Alright, so the front and back cover's done. And I'm just going to get a piece of ribbon to put here and then we'll start on the pages. Okay, I found this ribbon. And I'm just going to cut an oversized piece off and back it with score tape. And just run it right along the edge of this paper here. Okay. And there's our front cover. And we can stick some stuff in there. Also use some of this ribbon to hang on the back there. Okay. I may have to put some extra tape here. It seems to be coming up. Alright. Okay. Next we do the inside covers and then the pages.